Welcome back to JVSCP. Today it's very hot and humid here at the Swedish branch of the Foundation, so I'll be sweating throughout this entire video. But don't you worry about that, because despite the fact that I'm not wearing my science robe today because of said humidity, we're going to be talking about 3 SCPs that you could theoretically wear. SCP-1578 by PeppersGhost from the SCP Wiki. Object Class: Euclid. Special Containment Procedures. Articles of clothing involved in SCP-1578 manifestations can be easily neutralized with physical contact and may continue to be worn after neutralization. Minor 1578 sightings by individuals or small groups are to be dismissed as pranks, hallucinations, or supernatural phenomena such as ghosts. A full list of cover stories is available in document 1578-B. SCP-1578 appearances in public areas are to be handled on a case-by-case basis, with local field operatives intervening when necessary. Description: SCP-1578 refers to the spontaneous manifestation of articles of clothing in a state of unsupported mid-air suspension. 1578 typically manifests in sets including, but not limited to, shoes, pants, gloves, hats, upper bodywear, and undergarments. Although completely unsupported, articles of clothing give the appearance of concealing a solid humanoid structure underneath. Hats, scarves, and masks are also commonly integrated into instances concealing the lack of a head. SCP-1578 instances are inanimate and will cease suspension when force is applied, thereby neutralizing its anomalous properties. Reports of 1578 activity has been dated back to the late 12th century. Foundation statisticians have estimated between 500 and 700 SCP-1578 instances manifest worldwide every year. Articles of clothing present in 1578 instances originate from the wardrobe of a different individual with every manifestation. The original owners of the clothing often report the outfit being a favorite of theirs and worn frequently prior to becoming an instance of SCP-1578. SCP-1578 are usually posed in natural standing positions, with only 12% of instances found in active poses, such as running or dancing. Instances appear in locations frequented by the original owner of the clothes integrated into the manifestation, most often appearing in the owner's place of living. Although many instances have appeared in public areas, no person has ever claimed to have seen a manifestation in progress. Addendum. On the Health and Safety Councilwoman Dr. Macy Burchard upgraded the object class of SCP-1578 from Safe to Euclid.
Hello. In the past few years, we've seen a drastic increase in the number of reports of Foundation staff members encountering SCP-1578 instances of their clothing and the clothes of their coworkers. Even more disturbingly, there have been unconfirmed reports of 1578 instances displaying mobility and the ability to ambulate, mimicking daily tasks performed by Foundation personnel. This increase in anomalous activity seems to be limited to Foundation communities and specifically affects the clothing of individuals who are in close proximity to anomalies on a regular basis. A team of researchers with experience in psychometric anomalies is currently leading an investigation into these recent changes in 1578's behavior. Until we can better understand these events, 1578 has been upgraded to Euclid class. Furthermore, Foundation employees who come in close or direct contact with other anomalies will be expected to incinerate all articles of clothing after 6 months of wear. We apologize for the inconvenience this will inevitably cause many of you, and we greatly appreciate your continued dedication to keeping our workplace as safe as possible. Macy Burchard, Health and Safety Council.
SCP-025 by thattallfellow from the SCP Wiki. Object Class: Safe. Special Containment Procedures. SCP-025 is only to be opened during testing, as is the room in which SCP-025 is stored. Entry codes are to be given only to authorized research and security personnel. No other containment protocols required. Description: SCP-025 is a wooden wardrobe measuring 0.97 meters by 0.62 meters by 1.95 meters, full of clothing dating from a number of time periods. Articles contained within the chest, collectively named SCP-025-1, match with styles of decades from the 1920s to the present. The apparel from each time frame varies with regard to style. For example, a polyester striped shirt and a pair of charcoal suit pants both correspond with general styles of the 1970s. The only unifying aspect of every article of clothing contained in 025 is that each one is in poor condition. Moths have eaten at much of the collection, and tears and runs are not uncommon. When any item from SCP-025 is put on, the wearer is observed either to die or suffer an injury within 24 hours. The cause of death or injury in these instances is invariably linked to the aforementioned flaws in the clothing, but only ever appears to be an unrelated incident. Wearing a glove with a fingertip cut off may result in the loss of a fingertip through a simple kitchen accident like chopping onions. Similarly, a subject wearing a poncho with a sleeve missing will somehow cause the loss of the uncovered arm, be it an attack by a wild animal or a vehicular accident that necessitates the amputation of the limb. If placed in a sealed, unfurnished enclosure while wearing an item from the chest, the wearer will either seemingly spontaneously contract a flesh-eating disease that begins in the areas not covered by the clothing, or suffer the failure of an organ located beneath an imperfection in the article. Diseases arising from such incident may or may not be contagious. No study has been successfully undertaken due to the speed at which the strains observed run their course. Recommended that, if possible, samples of the disease be taken to lab for possible weaponization. Following is an abridged testing log of SCP-025. More thorough testing will accompany the declassification of the document in its entirety.
Test log SCP-025, Section 1. Subject: D778, a 42-year-old white male. Article: 1940s era white tuxedo. Imperfections: torn seam in left shoulder. Test results: subject was allowed free roam of the halls under agent's supervision. For approximately 45 minutes, nothing eventful occurred. However, security tapes and eyewitnesses indicate that D778 appeared to make an attempt at attacking agents. He in turn overcame the subject with a knife, causing an inch-deep gash in D778's left shoulder, precisely at the point where the tuxedo's seam was ripped. Test halted, subject later terminated. Subject: D690, a 26-year-old white male. Article: 2004 Boston Red Sox baseball cap. Imperfections: missing size adjuster in back of cap, logo in front partially removed. Test results: placed in a sealed room with the subject was a table on which were a loaded Jericho Baby Eagle 9mm handgun, a grill lighter, and a hatchet.
You can tell this is an early one. It's very funny that they placed the fucking D-class with a gun, a lighter, and a hatchet when they know that this thing causes damages.
D690 chose to wear the cap backwards for the test. Potential effects of this decision on the outcome of the test are unknown. Subject expressed reluctance to touch any of the objects on the table for several hours. Food and water were provided as necessary. After 4 hours of general inactivity, subject picked up the handgun and examined it. While holding it at roughly eye level, the weapon discharged into D690's forehead, where the size adjustment band would have been. The round exited the subject near the part of the hat with the missing part of the logo. D736, a 22-year-old white male, and D771, a 23-year-old white male. Article: burgundy striped sweater vest dating from 1973. Imperfections: article seemed to have been partially eaten by moths, several large holes in the front of the sweater. Test results: D736 was asked by researching staff to wear the sweater vest, which he did under duress. 771 was given a loaded handgun out of sight of the other test participants and instructed to, on given signal, fire all 6 shots in the direction of D736. After doing so, it was noted that every shot fired passed through one of the holes in the sweater vest, leaving the clothing intact and killing D-736. Firearm retrieved, surviving subject transported back to quarters. Subject D-771, a 23-year-old white male. Article: Sweater vest from previous test. Imperfections, same as mentioned. Test results. D-771 was this time placed in an empty room, dimensions 15 meters by 15 meters by 15 meters. Only objects in the enclosure were lights overhead. Subject initially complained of boredom, then lay on his back and went to sleep. After 2 hours and 14 minutes, 2 of the fluorescent light tubes in the ceiling suddenly dislodged and fell. Both landed squarely on holes in the sweater, shattering upon impact. One of the tubes broke into jagged pieces that impaled D-771 in several areas, but only again through gaps already present in the sweater vest. Subject's vitals persisted for another 6 minutes, then ceased. Further testing locations will be selected to minimize possible damage to the surrounding area. Subject: an unidentified individual left an article from SCP-025 on Dr. desk that looked similar to an item of his own clothing. Any information about this incident and/or the perpetrator of same should be reported immediately to senior staff. Article: lightweight scarf, dyed a number of colors. Imperfections: heavily pulled seam caused scarf to be considerably shorter and tighter in the middle. Test results. According to his itinerary, Dr. wearing the item of SCP-025 was en route to the enclosure of SCP on for routine testing. However, he diverged from his intended path and began in a direction towards an entirely separate wing of the facility. Subject then entered the enclosure of SCP-173 without gathering accompaniment or following safety procedures, and upon hearing the door closing, blinked. Cause of death listed as strangulation resulting from a crushed windpipe. Subject: D-802, a 30-year-old Hispanic female. Article: 1980s flash dance style white shirt. Imperfections: right shoulder removed, left sleeve completely cut off, entire bottom hem shredded. Test results. All present were presumed infected, then quarantined, and all further tests involving 1980s era fashion have been postponed indefinitely due to the expenditures and safety hazards presented by the aforementioned experiment. Full cleanup estimated to take an additional weeks.
Further testing authorized. Results now awaiting declassification. SCP-494 by Chungy McBungy from the SCP Wiki. Object Class: Safe. Special Containment Procedures. SCP-494 does not require any special containment procedures, other than being kept under lock and key in storage bunker at site. Level 2 clearance and written permission from a Level 4 or higher researcher is required for testing procedures regarding SCP-494. Description: SCP-494 appears to be a regular pair of black leather fingerless gloves. SCP-494's anomalous features can only be observed while worn by a human subject. Upon being fitted onto the hand, 494 will change size to match that of its wearer. Test subjects have described the feeling of wearing the gloves as if they were, quote, not wearing gloves at all, unquote. SCP-494's true anomalous nature is revealed in that when an object is held in each gloved hand, after exactly 5 minutes, the two objects' makeup will be suddenly traded. The range of materials that can be transferred as yet seems to have no limit, and has been observed to create working machines and even living organisms from the materials provided. See test log for details. SCP-494 seems to have some limitations, such as the fact that only objects that can be supported by the wearer's strength, Artificial assistance, such as leaning one's hand against a wall or table, seems to negate the effect of the gloves, will be transformed. And for reasons unknown, the gloves will refuse to work when worn by a subject over the age of 60. Testing log.
Test 4941.
Materials. Right hand, 1 0.24 carat diamond. Left hand, 1 regular golf ball. Result. Right hand, 1 diamond-shaped piece of plastic. Left hand, 1 rounded crystal formation, 2 inches in diameter. Diffractometry confirms monocrystalline diamond.
Test 4942.
Materials. Right hand, 1 Nokia flip cover cellular phone. Left hand, 2 stainless steel razor blades. Result. Right hand, 1 hinged stainless steel box with acid-etched surfaces denoting a cell phone keypad. Left hand, 2 mm thick machines with small screens and microscopic computer circuitry, found to be fully functional as cellular phones.
Test 4943.
Materials. Right hand, 1 white laboratory rat. Left hand, 1 1974 penny. Result. Right hand, 1 copper statuette of a rat. Left hand, 1 small disc-shaped organism with white fur. Though lacking sensory organs or any observed lungs or digestive system, organism is entirely viable and responds to external stimuli such as light and pain.
Test 4944.
Materials. Right hand, 1 vial containing live Streptococcus bacteria. Left hand, 1 white laboratory rat. Result. Right hand, 1 vial containing animal cells with DNA of rat. Left hand, no observable difference aside from a slight change in the hue of the animal's fur. However, after further observation, the resulting animal proved to be capable of asexual reproduction. It proceeded to give birth to 77 young within an hour, without any indication of stopping. Resulting offspring grew rapidly, maturing within a half hour. Mature offspring in turn produced their own offspring. All animals were subsequently incinerated. Estimations of rate of reproduction suggests over 100,000 young would have been produced within a day. Note: all tests involving the effects of SCP-494 on live microorganisms are now strictly prohibited.
Addendum 494-1. Suggestions for testing the effects of 494 on SCP-500 in conjunction with other materials are currently pending approval. Now you might be wondering, what's SCP-500 mentioned at the end there? Well, luckily for you, me and Veeti have recorded several SCPs in advance, and SCP-500 is one of them. So we're just gonna tack that on to the end here. Veeti, please roll the tape. SCP-500. Object Class: Safe. Special Containment Procedures: SCP-500 must be stored in a cool and dry place, away from bright light. SCP-500 is only allowed to be accessed by personnel with Level 4 security clearance to prevent misapplication. Description: SCP-500 is a small plastic can which at the time of writing contains 47 red pills. One pill, when taken orally, effectively cures the subject of all diseases within 2 hours. Exact time depending on the severity and amount of the subject's conditions. Despite extensive trials, all attempts at synthesizing more of what is thought to be the active ingredient of the pills have been unsuccessful. Note from Dr. Klein.
SCP personnel below level 3 are now banned from handling SCP-500. This is not to be used to cure a hangover. Get aids and then ask permission.
Requests. 1774K. Dr. O22F has requested 1 SCP-500 pill for testing with SCP-38. Request has been approved. 1862B. Dr. Gears has requested 1 SCP-500 pill for testing in SCP-914. Request has been approved. 2354F. Dr. has requested 1 SCP-500 pill for testing with SCP-253. Request denied. 5667E. Dr. Gibbons has requested 2 pills of SCP-500 for his personal medkit. Request denied. Addendum 500-1. 2 pills have been authorized for use with SCP-008. As a result of conducting a series of tests on Class D subjects infected with SCP-008, it appears that even in the most advanced stages of the disease, 1 whole pill will accomplish full recovery. Number of pills is 57 at the time of writing. Addendum 500-2. 1 pill has been authorized for use with SCP-409. SCP-500 was tested on subject 409-D5, who was exposed to the effects of SCP-409. Complete recovery accomplished. See Addendum 409-1. Number of pills is 56 at the time of writing. Addendum 500-4. Request 500-1774-K approved. 5 pills have been used in experimentation with SCP-038. It has been determined that SCP-38 is capable of duplicating SCP-500. However, the success of the duplicated pills is limited. The duplicated pills are only effective in curing the subject 30% of the time, with chance of successful healing dropping as time since cloned increases. In 60% of the cases where the infection is permanent, symptoms of infection remain, though further infestation is neutralized. Repeated dosing with SCP-038 cloned pills is recommended for all personnel suffering from incurable conditions, as supply of SCP-500 remains extremely limited. All 5 used samples of SCP-500 were returned. Number of pills is 56 at the time of writing. Addendum 500-5. During experiments with SCP-038, 1 pill was stolen by personnel D to reportedly, quote, cure a hangover, unquote. Stricter controls for samples of SCP-500 given to other projects is suggested. Personnel D has been terminated. Number of pills is 55 at the time of writing. Addendum 500-6. 1 pill has been used with SCP-231-4. Number of pills is 54 at the time of writing. Addendum 500-7. 1 pill has been used for experiment 447-A. Number of pills is 53 at the time of writing. Addendum 500-8. 1 pill has been used with SCP-208. Number of pills is 52 at the time of writing. Addendum 500-9. Request 500-1862-B approved. 1 pill of SCP-500 is placed within SCP-914 with the setting at Fine. Resulting object classified as SCP-427. Number of pills is 51 at the time of writing. Addendum 500-10. 5 pills have been taken for the Olympia project, although only 2 were used. The remaining 3 will be returned shortly. Upon return, number of pills will be 49. Addendum 500-11. 2 pills have been used for experiment 217. Number of pills is 47 at the time of writing. Addendum 500-12. Request to have SCP-500 investigated for mental compulsion leading to obsessive fixation denied for triviality.
And those were 3 SCPs that you can wear, plus SCP-500. Thank you so much for watching. Please feel free to suggest any SCPs down in the comments that you want us to cover. Preferably, safe or funny ones, but we're gonna do all kinds of SCPs eventually, but I just really enjoy those. Do you? You can let us know about that in the comments as well. Thank you so much for watching. Our patrons should be up on screen here somewhere. I know we had at least one last time. Thank you very much for that. Hope to see you in the next video. Very rambly outro, but hope to see you in the next one.